And come in. Welcome. This is the Cosmic Watch, and I'm Franklin, your astrologer. And the way to get a private reading with me at weforetell.com is find the contact number and the schedule below in the description. Please check out our other free material right here on YouTube, like the horoscopes, tarot lessons, and compatibility videos. And if you like what you see, please hit thumbs up because it really does make a difference. We do thank you for your support. And here we are on another Cosmic Watch on this, the 29th day of September. And 9/29/2023 all adds up to the number 27. And in numerology, those who are born today would have a life path that includes a 2 and a 7. And then we would put those together, add them together to make the 9 as the life path, the destiny of the person born on such as today. And also we have a chat room. And in the next hour, we'll be chatting with, I see Heather is with us first this evening. Heather, good evening to you. The whole idea of having of our chat room is that we do live readings for the subscribers. That's who the chat room is open to the subscribers of the channel, and we try to answer any questions that they might have, and we discuss what's going on, what happened last week to all of us, and what's going to happen next week. It's those common threads that make readings interesting for everyone, because we all have these 12 signs within us, and at different times of the year during the month or 40 days that we have the different signs, we're all affected by those signs in the same way that we're all affected by the moon sign. And the moon sign, in every 28-day lunar cycle, the moon sign goes through the entire zodiac, 2.5 days for each of the 12 signs, and we all experience those tendencies during the time that the moon sign is in a particular sign. So, Heather, we will begin with you. Would you rather I just flip the card on you tonight, or do you have a specific question that you'd like to explore this evening? Because it really works either way. This is the way that I do readings. Is my spirit guides hear your spirit guides, the person who's asking the question, because your guides always come through your voice. They want you to believe what they say. Heather says, you may pick a card for me. Yes. If what do we feel tonight, Heather? What's going on? It's a 3. That's you expressing yourself. You liked what you heard the last time, as we were all expressing ourselves, and you've come back, and you want to tell other people about your experiences and what's going on in your life. What things are what things beyond your control are coming into your life. And of course, we all wonder why things come to us. Why do we attract a certain kind of person to ourselves? It's because we truly have an aura, Everyone does. And not everyone can see the aura. Just the same as, have you ever had someone come up to you and say, well, I can see that you're an old soul? And these are the things that can be seen by an old soul. And body language is the next thing to reading minds. Body language says so much. And what you say means so much, because your spirit guides are within you. They're inside of you. And the way that they come to you is through your voice. When you ask a question, when you say, give directions to go somewhere, when you're giving advice to somebody, listen, because I have found that there's almost always a message for me when I'm answering questions. When I get an answer from my guides for the person who's asked that question, there's almost always something there for me, because everything that you experience, everything you get to see, hear, feel, is affected by your spirit guides. It's what you are allowed to see. The things about the spirit world, I only know what I have been allowed to see, allowed to what I've been shown by my spirit guides. And I know that not only do my spirit guides have a sense of humor, and God must have a sense of humor, but my guides lead me in some fairly strange places, but it always turns out to be for a reason. And the more you listen to your guides, the more instruction they will give you, because the way that you pay those guides back for the service that they are giving to you is by using their information, by putting their suggestions to use. That is the payoff for a spirit guide. Now, who are your spirit guides? You very, very seldom will you ever know who these spirit guides were. A spirit becomes a guide when they have become enlightened, when they have gone through enough reincarnations that they understand that they have become an enlightened soul, so they no longer need to be reincarnated to have another lifetime. Here on the proving ground, here on the earth of temptations. So what they do is use their time to be a spirit guide for a human being here on earth, to try and help that particular human reach their enlightenment. Why is that so important? Because obviously those who have already become enlightened can't just go to God and then it's over for them. I really believe that we all have to go together. That's why our enlightenment is so important to souls who have already become enlightened and are just waiting for us all to be able to make the jump to hyperspace, right? And join God and do what we're supposed to do. Heather saying this week there were things that I went looking for and got sidetracked and forgot, and they got me back on track. Allowing you to see things, putting blinders on you, making you drive right past a place that you thought you were driving directly to, and you got your mind on something else, courtesy of your guides, and you drove right past it just like it was invisible, like it was not there, because in your reality it wasn't. Your guides are always trying to keep you on a track that will make you reach your enlightenment. Okay. Now, what are the two biggest factors in reaching your enlightenment? Being born and dying. Guides can have initiative. Guides can tell you not the whole truth, make you see what they want you to see so that you can die sooner to get back into another life so you can learn more. That really is the ultimate aim. And when you consider that there are also fallen angels out there, and the fallen angels are the ones who came to earth to make the earth ready for people to be having all these reincarnations. They set up all of the temptations, which are so personal. How can they possibly know exactly what turns you on? Well, it's certainly possible, right? And these are things that exist in this world, and the things that pull us one way or another. And we, as free will, we are spirits with free will, just like the angels. You see, the angels came first, and the angels had have of course complete free will. And human beings, the humans, were a later idea of God. Human beings are created in the image of God. What that means is human beings are also spirits, just as God is a spirit. We created in the image of God. We are spirits. It is that spirit that lives on when the body dies. Your spirit will leave this cocoon that is a human body, and it will be joined in the spirit world by other spirits who will help you decide if you became enlightened or if you need to go back for another round and be reincarnated into another life. And then all you have to do is decide where and when. Who will be your parents? These are decisions that have to be made in the spirit world, looking 25 years down the road to decide what sort of people they're going to be, and do you want to be born into that? So it usually comes down to a question of, do you want to be born into money, or do you want to be born good looking? Because those are the two biggest factors that parents can possibly pass down to their children. So the reason that we all need to help each other every day on this planet is because we're all trying to reach our enlightenment. And until all of us reach our enlightenment, we're just going to keep recycling through these lives, learning as we go. This is how evolution works. And is anything possible in this universe? Evolution says everything has to be tried. Everything must be attempted. You you have to try every path. That's what having free will is all about. You there are Akashic records there of the past, and they do include the future. But what they always include is several different futures that are open to you. The past is written in stone. You can't change the past. But the future, you are writing that future now. You have free will. Your free will choices are how you choose how the future is going to go for you. And speaking of the Akashic records, there is a page in the records for each and every human that has ever been on this planet. And we won't even talk about the animals. But the fact that everyone has a page in the book says everyone's important to God. That means we should love everyone. There should be no enemies. There should be no hatred. That's the perfect world that we're all trying to reach. And the way to do that is to spiritually help each other. And so how do we learn how to do that? By living in this world. Think about all the natural disasters that go on in this that have gone on in this year of this world that show us we have to help each other. No one's big enough to fight against nature. We have to come together as one, and because it will take every one of us to be able to reach God. It's like if you stacked all 8 billion people that are on the planet, end to end, you could reach God. Well, maybe so, but you certainly don't have to go that far. Because the other wonderful thing about that human body that is so wear outable, that human body of yours is the only container in the universe that will hold both your spirit and your soul. What is your soul? Your soul is God. God is within. God is the soul that is within every living being. And here's Larry asking to pick a card for him. Larry, good evening. Good to have you along with us in the chat room tonight. If I pulled a card for you, oh man, a new beginning. It's a 10. That means it's both an ending and a new beginning. And this is the happiest family that you could possibly ask for. So what that means is that in the future, Larry, there is exactly the family situation that you've seen, that you've pictured in that house that you've flown through. And yes, exactly. So this is really that right now is the change point, Larry. Today is a full moon. It's a blue moon, so the moon's as close to us as it can possibly get, and it's the harvest moon. The equinox was earlier this week, so we're just right in the middle, and things This moon, this full moon that rose tonight, it actually rose in Pisces, and then during the day it switched over to Aries, going from Pisces into Aries, and that is a new beginning. 12th house back to the first house. That is turning everything around and getting a brand new beginning. So that just, I mean, that couldn't be a happier, more fortunate prediction of the future for you. And so believe in yourself. That's always the key, is to believe that God is within you. And that's the thing about people, the people who are born on this date. They're a Libra, of course, being born on September the 29th, and they were born with Pisces as their rising sign, and they also their numerology, they are a 279, and 2 is all about cooperation. 7 is about trust, openness, being able to trust other people enough to open yourself up to them. And then the 9 is all about self-belief. It's about obtaining wisdom through experience and having the integrity to know right from wrong and showing that to other people. Those born today are going to show other people how it's done their entire life. One of the biggest people of this number that you'll recognize, and of course everybody has their own story, but one that has been very public was Elvis Presley. Elvis was a 279, and what that meant, see, having that 7 means that you have God inside of you, and God's talking to you, and you know that you have this charisma, this power inside of you that just turns other people on, and you have to decide how you're going to use it. Will you use it for good or for evil? And when Elvis Presley allowed other people to take over his career and tell him what to do, what movies to be in, what songs to sing, and make all of his choices for him, that's what destroyed the superbly creative performer who had begun as a teenager and burned out so quickly. It's you have to, and as a Libra, you have to be true to yourself. There's Mahatma Gandhi was a 279. Albert Schweitzer was a 279. Orson Welles was a 279. These are super creative people who, if they allow their identity to be based on the opinion of other people, they're going to become fanatically attached to that other person rather than being fanatically attached to God, as you hope that we all are. So that's the 279. The people who are born on this particular date add up to the 27 and the 9. So one other thing that's very interesting about number is that you can predict a relationship between any two people. So this can either be a romantic relationship or a friendship or a working relationship. Your relationship with another human being can be found by taking your birth number and adding it to their birth number. All right? My wife is one of those 279s, and I'm a 202. We're 2 and a 9 together. We're an 11. That is double creativity. It's like water. It's like air and oxygen and fire coming together. It creates a real spark. So when you add up your birthday, your date of birth, all 4 digits of the year, when you add those 4 together, you come up with a composite number, like today's date added up to 27, and then you add those numbers together to get your birth number. If you're born today, your birth number would be 9. So if you'll take the birth number of yourself and add it to the birth number of someone that you say would like to have a relationship with, you come up with a number that can really tell you both the positive and negative sides that are possible from that mixture. And it is amazing how it can be predictive of how people are going to treat each other, and how they should try to treat each other if they want each other to stick around, because everybody wants to. Everybody has desires. Our desires are what make us susceptible to the fallen angels. Of course, they know exactly what we want, and they're not afraid to push you in a dangerous direction. Who are the fallen angels? And have you, as I told you, everything I know is what my guides have allowed me to see, is what my guides have told me. And the fallen angels are first mentioned in Genesis. They are the giants, the race of giants, the fallen angels. and there's an entire host. There are 200 angels who, by their free will, decided to come to earth with Lucifer, who had been cast out, thrown down on a bolt of lightning down to the earth to go and fulfill his mission, which was to make the earth ready for human beings. See, angels come before, long before, who knows how long before. And if you want to really figure out and reckon in years, look at the 7 days of creation. The Bible says God created the entire universe in 7 days. The fact is, God doesn't wear a watch. God doesn't keep time at all in the way that human beings keep time. As it turns out, a day for God consists of 1,000 human years. Those 7 days of creation were 7,000 years. And how do we know this? Because one of the promises God made to Adam was, on the day that you eat from the tree of life, not if you're going to eat, he already knew, right? Or They, whatever God is, already knew when, Adam, you eat from the fruit from the tree of life, on that same day, you will die. Adam died 930 years later. A day for God is 1,000 years. So this stretches things out, and it also it's proven again by the fact that God is a forgiving God, not a punishing God. Adam and Eve were forgiven by God. That's right. That's right. Adam and Eve are forgiven by God, but rules are rules. They broke a commandment, and to pay for that, they had to be exiled from the Garden of Eden. Now, this was the most depressing thing that had ever happened to a human being. Of course, they being the first. They were so despondent that they attempted to kill themselves. They jumped off of a mountain. God found them. The voice of God, the word of God came to them and brought them back to life. The first reincarnation? Maybe so. Now, they tried 3 different times, and God always brought them back to life and felt so sorry for them. God felt love for human beings and told them that in only 5.5 days, God would return to earth in the form of a human being. Those 5.5 days were 5,500 years. And then this is when Jesus came. God promised Adam and Eve this was going to happen. Adam told this to his descendants. So when Adam and Eve are thrown out of the garden, God feels so sorry for them that he says he's going to come back for all of their children and their children's children, who are going to be some of the most sinful people who have ever walked on the earth. And God will personally die for all of the sins of all of those people. So that's exactly what happened. So we have a God who would much rather find a way to love humans. That's why they were brought here. God wanted spirits like God. Why not have 1 billion gods? That's what Lucifer saw and made him so jealous that he had to leave. So we on Earth today. So what? When let's get back to the story here. When the fallen angels came to Earth, it was they who put into effect every temptation. And I mean, they can shapeshift. They can become anything that you desire, and desire is what it's all about, making you desire things. The Buddhist, that's the entire Buddhist religion, is to end suffering in desire. Stop wanting things. And that's pretty straightforward. And it always comes down to, well, I would if I could trust everybody else, but then they would take advantage of me. And people wonder, how can I possibly do anything that would hurt myself? And that's why the message that Jesus brought us was so revolutionary, and brought so much down upon the head of not only Jesus, but also the herald of Jesus. Do you know the story of John the Baptist? Talk about someone who talked directly to God. John the Baptist was also, just like his cousin Jesus, an immaculate conception. Yes, 3 months ahead of Jesus, and a very well-known one, because John the Baptist's father is the head priest, Zechariah, and his mother, Elizabeth, is in the direct line from Aaron, the original high priest of the Hebrew people. So when John is born, it's a miraculous birth, because John's mother is like 70 or 80 years old. And the Bible shows the story of Zechariah going into the temple, and the angel comes to him and says, "Hey, Zach, your wife is pregnant, and you're going to name the son John." And when he says, "No, you're wrong," and then he thought, "I just told an angel they were wrong." He punished himself by not being allowed. He didn't allow himself to speak again until that child was being christened, and the mother was trying to tell the people that it's John, and they wouldn't believe her, and he finally got his voice back. So John is better known than Jesus at the time of their birth. And this, the coming of both John and Jesus is first written about in the book of Enoch, the book that was removed from the Bible. And the book of Enoch says that, well, the book of Enoch is the book that the wise men read, the Holy Scripture that the wise men read to know of the coming of the birth of Jesus. And when they first come into the country, they go to the king, King Herod, and they tell him the great news. Only Herod thinks he's the elected one that's going to save the Jewish people. So he sends the Roman soldiers to kill every Jewish baby under the age of 2. And this is when Jesus is taken into Egypt. And John, the better known one, they're going to kill Zechariah, his father, because his father will not tell them that Mother Elizabeth took baby John to the wilderness, to a cave on the Jordan River, where 30 years later, this wild man wearing skins and eating honey is going to emerge preaching, "Repent, the end is near." And so this, to John, was the exact truth. God had told him that when Jesus comes, the world is going to end. Only John didn't know that it was just him that God was talking about. The world ended for John. When there was a king in the area, John is baptizing people. He's baptizing them to wash away their sins because the end is near. the world is going to end. And when Jesus walks over that hill and we baptize him here, John thought that the world was going to come to an end. But in that same area, there's another king who murders his own brother in order to take his brother's wife as his wife, and very publicly. And John preached against this, and that's why he had his head cut off. The world did end, but only for John. So think about that when you receive spiritual messages. Any message you ever get is for you. Anything you ever see is for your eyes. The world is being created for you individually because you are a spirit in the image of God. God is within you. That human shell that you have, that's not going to be with you forever. Your spirit will be forever. And then this is why people should not be so upset by people dying. And and by that I mean we need to stop the amount of punishment that we have for everything, because we have this authority rule, and it brings on violence. I mean, look around you. There's no doubt that the amount of violence in the world gets more and more as we go along. It's incredible that we seem to be all rushing towards a particular point, but there's something in astrology that's going on right now that you can verify this yourself. The fact is, Neptune, the ruling planet of Pisces, is in Pisces. Now, Neptune, see, if you got the sun here, you got all the planets we know of right in here, and then there's the other ones that they found. Neptune and Pluto are so far away from the sun that it takes almost 250 years for them to come all the way around and move back into Pisces as Neptune is now. And this happened back in 2012 and will go on until 2025. March 30th of 2025 will be the end of this period. And the last time it happened was in 1847 to 1862, right? And they freeing the slaves. And so we are back into a pattern that hasn't existed for 245 years. And it is a pattern of spiritual awakening for the entire planet. It's a time for reconnecting all humans in a web of common awareness, of common concern for each other. It's and some of the things that are bound to happen is the dissolving of the invisible borders that we build between us, and that's locally and nationally. But there's a downside to everything, right? The other thing that has been going on during this cycle and will continue for another couple of years is increased human sensitivity to the toxins in the air and the water. This is the drug problem. Opioids, fentanyl. Humans have increased their sensitivity to toxins by increasing the toxins. And this is one of the things that has been the downside of the last 20 years here. And this also will come to an end in March of 2025. So we're going to see a culmination of humans having a spiritual awakening, of actually coming to God rather than to a religious leader. Religion, after all, is only opinion. There's no persecution in math because it's based on facts. Religion is based on opinion, other people's opinions. And it's just like we were talking about Elvis, right? When he allowed the opinion of other people to tell him how to live his life, what to do. Elvis would have been very happy as in a gospel quartet. And he was, the world came to him and said, jump on, we got to go. And how do you turn down the only good offer you've ever had? It's a remarkable story. It truly is how people can rise in the entertainment industry and not be prepared for what all comes. Because in today we've gone way past celebrity idol worship. It's a teardown of everyone, trying to find the worst in people instead of looking for the best in people. That is how you find balance. The people who are born today, the Libras who are born today, this is their tarot card. It's balancing the scales between what you do for yourself and what you do for others. There are people who get completely lost doing for others, forget about themselves. And you have to take care of yourself. You have to balance your life out. You can't you can't be rigid. Rigid is for almost dead people. Babies are pliable. They're changeable, right? and this is that we come into the world completely open, and the world is what teaches us how we can act, really, what we can get by with. So it's up to us to learn our lessons, to understand what it is that comes to us, and this is why we do the horoscopes, why we do astrology, is to try and see the cycles and see them come back around. And it only takes about 25,000 years of writing down what you did on that particular day and where the stars were. So the original astronomy was done for the biggest question people had was, God, why does it get so hot? Why does it rain so much? What did we do to deserve this flood? And seeing the different seasons come could be read in the sky. Imagine a world with no lights, right? How the sky would be lit up, and how everyone would read the sky, because it's a movable pattern, and it was the only entertainment there was outside of looking at the fire. So people at first realized that the star that we know as the planet Mercury moves 4 times as fast as the Earth does, comes around 4 times around the sun and into our view a year. And people learned when to plant, when to reap the plants, when it was going to be the rainy season. And they connected all of this directly to God. And of course it was. It was the first signs that people here on earth were able to interpret. So the best thing you can do is help other people, help them interpret what is going on in their life, because so often what comes into our life comes disguised as something else entirely. Those new responsibilities that are dumped on you turn out to be what make you work harder. Thank your competitors. They're the ones who bring out the best in you. Don't downgrade your competitors. This is the biggest problem of current politicians, is that they tear each other to pieces. And when you have say 2 candidates talking about each other and calling each other demons, I mean, as low as you can go, they can't both be right. Oh, but they can both be wrong. Well, politicians, the whole idea was to be able to compromise. That should be your middle name if you're a politician. Nobody's all good. Nobody's all bad. As we know for sure now, no bill that ever came through Washington, D.C. was ever all good or all bad, because of the way they stick other things into each and everything that comes down the pike. So we've turned into this huge game that seems to be financed by people that we don't even know, people who have no face, people who have decided that this should be over that, and they'll go to any lengths to try and make that happen. Here's SJ joining us in the chat room, and Nightfall. Oh, okay. SJ says she would like a card to be pulled tonight. Let me just see what we have. Oh, you picking up new responsibilities, SJ, and this is good. This is you getting to take a whole new personality for yourself with other people, because you're the one that's going to pick up the load for everybody. Don't try to do everything yourself, SJ. Let the other people have a little opportunity to help you, and at least let them try, right? Nightfall. Now, Nightfall, would you like a card? If that's a new name to me. I see you expressing yourself among your friends. This is what you came for. What is it that you would like to tell us or ask? Nightfall, is there uh, anything in particular that we can answer for you? I I see that there's reason for you to celebrate. So there is some good news coming to you, and you want to share it. You want to be able to, and isn't that great? This is why we're given more than we need to be able to share with other people. Anything that comes into your life, you want to put to use in the best way possible, and then share it with other people, and then show your gratitude for that coming into your life. And the best way to show your gratitude is to let it go, to release it into the world so it can continue to do good for other people. That's when gold comes into your life, we bury it in the ground in a bank vault, right? No, that's not the way. SJ says thank you and God bless you. SJ, I appreciate that. And I learned something from the chat room every time I'm here. It's sort of a think tank. It's a way for me to unload my problems. Right? It's like I have a dozen psychiatrists here, and I can talk to all of them, and it's great to to get a thank you from another soul is the greatest thing in the world. It really is. It's like being on stage and being applauded. If you have never been in front of a crowd and had them applaud you for whatever reason, whew, boy, you don't know what high is. It's really it's such a boost from other human beings. And I can see that we're just about out of time in our hour tonight. So let me say thank you to all who are participating in the show. And remember to hit the thumbs up button to show your support. And this is the Cosmic Watch. I'm Franklin, and I'm available to you at weforetell.com. And our readings are very interesting. I really enjoy what I do, and I've been here for almost 15 years now. It's a very enjoyable, very rewarding way to get to know people. So I do. I thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part. And I will be back next week.